And welcome to the Breakin Broncos podcast. I am your host, Dan. That is my co-host, Dylan Miles. Hope y'all enjoyed the new intro. It's a little surprise for y'all. Got it on the last one. Now you got it now. That's our permanent intro. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. But we are here to talk about Broncos, and football is back, baby. We got training camp going on. We got preseason games coming up.
We got the Hall of Fame game tonight.
Tonight, people. We have football tonight.
It's the Raiders and the Jags, but it's football.
Right. But with training camp also comes injuries. Unfortunately, the Broncos have already experienced 2 season-ending injuries, torn ACLs to both Timmy P, Tim Patrick, and Demarie Crockett. I got his name right finally, and I'm not going to have to say it for the rest of the year. I feel bad. So, who on the roster to you replaces Timmy P?
It's hard to replace a guy like Tim Patrick.
Of course.
You know, that's the nice thing. You know, it sucks when he goes down, but it's also a good thing if a receiver does go down, how diverse of a group of guys that they have on the receiving corps.
Yes.
And, you know, I kind of thought about this the other day. What was his name? They don't have Tyler Cleveland anymore, do they?
Yes, but he got punched in the throat.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
He's a little injured right now.
Not season ending, thank God.
Not season ending. But the funniest part about his injury is he is the only player that Nathaniel Hackett has put on blast, and it's because of the injury. Like, he essentially said Tyree got what he deserved for not knowing what he was supposed to be doing. He went in motion in a play that he wasn't supposed to go in motion. And so in that case, and the defense was rushing a cornerback, and it was Kwan Williams, the new signing from San Francisco. He came off the edge as a blitzer and then knocked him in the throat. And I'm sorry, dude, I need you to take this over real quick. For some reason, somebody just knocked him out.
All right. You know, other than that, you know, I would say Tyree Cleveland, other than the one mistake, he's looked pretty hot during camp so far. I think, you know, if he gets some game time, which he should be able to this year with Timmy P being out, Terry Cleveland would be a nice addition. He's not going to be Timmy P. You know, he's not going to be the full replacement. But more, you know, that just means more depth at the receiver position. You still have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler. You know, those guys are fantastic. Dan's back.
Yes. I am back. Sorry about that, guys.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I was listening to you.
All right.
Yeah, when it comes to, for me, on the roster, there's only those 2 guys. There's 2 guys that can replace Timmy physically. And what I mean, they are similar in size and weight. And those are, who you mentioned, Tyree Cleveland and Seth Williams. Those are the 2 big bodies that are left on the roster. But... And, well, actually, I'll tell you a little bit. I talked to an insider earlier this morning that gave me some insight of what's going on at training camp. And it looks like Seth Williams is the guy that got the first team reps in place of Timmy P.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about that is before Timmy went down, it was Montreal Washington and who was it? Another rookie. I can't remember his name. Were getting the reps.
Was it the free agent the undrafted free agent, or was it the one they drafted?
No, it was that late round draft pick. Not Montreal. Montreal was a late round draft pick. It was the undrafted free agent. The other small, speedy guy.
Yeah. I forgot his
name.
name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's that kid. Those 2 were getting the extra reps, I guess you could say, with the ones before Timmy went down. But the moment that Timmy went down, Seth Williams stepped into that. So it seems like the way they want this constructed is they want those 2 towers on the outside.
Oh, that's honestly, oh, shoot, my camera just unplugged. That's definitely the best way to go.
Right.
You know,
go ahead, sorry.
I mean, having 2 just absolutely just skyscrapers out on the edge, out on the outside is just perfect to have. You know, it's more than, it's like the year Cortland Sutton went down. You have more. It was like when Tim Patrick was out there, you only had one option to go to out on the edge that had height. And then you had them both together last year, and it just made the offense, a little more flashy, helped them out. It helped Teddy Bridgewater out a lot more last year, having those two on the outside. But this year, Russell Wilson's got just, he loses Tim Patrick, obviously, but he's still got 3 receivers on the inside that he could work with. You still got Jerry Jeudy, got KJ Hamler, and there's one name I've been talking about a lot. I'm not sure how many people still remember. Kendall Hilton. He's looked hot. He's had a great training camp so far.
Yeah, you haven't really heard too much about him, but he's one of those guys that if you don't hear anything, it's usually a good thing. He's not a flashy guy.
I've seen a couple clips of him. He's looking good.
Yeah, he looks what he is, a very solid slot receiver. That's why I don't see Kendall being able to really replace Timmy outside of being on third down. Like he could be that, Golden Tate, shifty slot receiver that's on third down. You can trust him to get to the sticks. He's not going to get you much past the sticks, but he's going to get you to the sticks.
Last season,
that first down, he's going to catch the ball. He's a very good catcher of the ball. The thing that scares me about this is, yes, the Broncos are 3 deep. You have Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler. My problem is, and that's actually a much more common combination of wide receivers in the NFL. You usually have your big guy, the big 6'4", 6'5" guy like a Courtland Sutton. You have your smaller, shiftier guy on the other side that runs routes, Jerry Jeudy, and then you have that small, shifty, fast slot receiver, KJ Hamler. So really they have a normal wide receiver group that was abnormal with the advent of 2 guys that were 6'4" or taller. And that's something that Peyton likes. He said so in the offseason that the reason he signed both Courtland and Patrick was because he wanted the redundancy of having 2 big guys, and then the smallest guy that would be out there on a regular occasion would have been Jerry Jeudy, who's 6'1". And then a lot of people
forget how tall he actually is.
Right, he's not short. Like KJ Hamler's short. KJ Hamler's like 5'9", 5'10". He's short.
And you know what it really reminds me of? When last year, especially last year, when both Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick were healthy, was having those 2 just big, reliable receivers. It's kind of like back in the day, the late 80s, early 90s with the 49ers with T.O. and Jerry Rice.
Or, you can even go
even more recent.
More recent, which is Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith. Both guys were 6'3" or taller.
You look at all those, it is great success. Of all
the
teams that had those.
I'm sorry, I just got to point this out. What offenses were run in both of those situations that they had 6'5" guys or taller? The same one that we're dealing with right now. So it just from that chronological order, it makes
short quarterbacks.
Right? At least shorter than average, most definitely.
John Elway wasn't super tall.
No, Joe was what, 6 foot?
He had to be about 6'1".
Yeah, 6 foot 6'1".
Elway had to be about 6'2", 6'1".
Yeah, Elway's like 6'2", 6'3". I think he's right around there.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, he might be just at our height too.
He might just be 5'9". Okay, yeah, we were about there, 6'3".
6'3", yep.
And then what is Joe Montana?
I swear Joe's like 6'1".
6'2".
6'2". All right.
Yeah, but still okay. Now let's compare. Let's compare to Russ while we're here.
Russ is 5'11", I think, is what they have.
Yeah, he's right around there.
He's like 5'10", 5'11". I think he's more 5'10" than 5'11".
It says here 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think
right in between. So very close height. Very similar.
Very similar in all those, like same types of quarterbacks, same types of guys. So again, it makes perfect sense of why Peyton would say he wants 2 big guys, because it seems like having those 2 big guys out on the outside are what can help make this offense go to another level. Like you can still work it with littler guys like KJ and Montrell and Jerry, etc. But when you have those 2 towers, because then, especially in the red zone, you don't know which way they're going to go. If you get in the red zone with Jeudy, Sutton, and Hamler, you're pretty positive the ball's going to Sutton. It's either going to go to Sutton or it's going to go one of the big tight ends. But if you got both Timmy and Court out there at the same time, you don't know what side it's going because it can literally go to either side. It's a lot. It goes along the philosophy of what this offense is. They are trying to make every play look the same, even though they're different.
And, the nice thing about, especially when you're talking about getting in that red zone, is sure, you got all those great receivers in there, most likely going to Cortland Sutton, but you still got just a dog in the backfield, too. I mean, how many times did Javonte Williams score in the red zone last year? I'm pretty sure half of his touchdowns were scored in the red zone, if I'm not wrong.
I think they were all scored in the red zone. Outside of maybe one, I think he had that was more than a 20-yard run. And so I think all but one, if I'm remembering correctly, were from inside the red zone.
And then you still have Melvin, which is, very, very good running back, especially in those short situations. Melvin's good in the short.
Boone is showing out to be one heck of a third down running.
And that's why I'm not worried about Crockett going down like I've seen some idiots worry about.
I know some people are so worried. Like, yes, he would have been a nice option. He'd have been like, he's essentially a poor man's Javonte Williams. They're almost the same size. They have the same type of game. It's just Demarie's a little bit faster than Javonte.
He doesn't have as much strength either.
Yeah, but he's not nearly the power back that Javonte is. He's just a little bit lighter version. He's about the same size and a little bit faster. So that's kind of the trade-off. But again, he's been a practice squatter for the last 3 years. If he was something special, he would have been on the 53 by now. He seems to be probably going to be a good journeyman backup running back for his career.
And
hasn't shown any not in preseason, not in camp. He's just shown to be solid, not special.
And what I've seen, watching this training camp so far is there's a shot we could see. There's a shot we could see Melvin Gordon not taking as many snaps towards the end of the season between Javonte and Mike Boone.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, just depending upon,
especially on the 1-year deal he's on.
The contracts tell you that Melvin Gordon's going to get more touches, but I don't believe Nathaniel Hackett thinks that money makes you a starter. He's really seeming to be that kind of coach that is building a meritocracy. Whatever you get, you earn it. You don't just get handed it to you simply because of your contract or draft pedigree. He is not afraid to put the young guy out there if he's outperforming the vet.
And that reminds me of just Belichick. The way how many years he had half the roster on 1 to 2 year deals for no money.
Just do your job.
Exactly. And they did. They get a ring. They move on. They're happy. They get a paycheck somewhere else.
Exactly. They get a paycheck somewhere else. So we're talking
like Garrett Blunt.
Internal, real quick before we move on. So we're talking about internal replacements. Are there any free agents you would like to see replace Timmy?
Who's left?
Not much.
See, that's what I'm saying. If we're talking about this 3 months ago, if this man went down in OTA somehow, then I would be like, I would know who was available still. I can't really name anybody who's out there off the top of my head right now. OBJ is the only one that comes to mind, but that man's still hurt.
There's Will Fuller the fifth.
Oh, Will Fuller.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
I mean, we were talking about this literally less than 10 minutes ago off show.
Yeah, exactly. And now
about OBJ, it'd be nice. But
T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders.
T.Y.'s still out there.
Cole Beasley. I don't know.
No, he's not going to get pricked. He's not going to get poked for the back, so I don't kind of want him.
If you want to go speed, there's D.D. Westbrook.
You know what? I think
Jackson
I know.
Is still sitting out there.
Deshaun Jackson.
And
there was talks he was going to come here for a while.
And he is available. I got to say his name, even though I don't like it. Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
not
worth anything.
Not worth
anything.
I don't know all the Jesus talk Russ could give him when to help that man.
Right. But to me, honestly, I think the Broncos should stay packed. Looking at these names of who's available, the only one I would want to give a contract to, and I wouldn't give it to him until at least halfway through the season, would be OBJ. I mean, I like Will Fuller. I like his size and speed combo. When he's on the field, he's electric.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he can't stay on the field.
Exactly.
The dude is essentially made of glass. He has never played more than 5 games in a single season.
You know, when I was, jeez, what a stat. When I read that the other day. When I was, when we started thinking about it, you know, I totally agree. I wouldn't want to sign anybody until like halfway through the season, like you said, if they're struggling. But there's one I wouldn't hate to see before the season starts. You know, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
you know,
I had a feeling you would go there.
He's not the. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like he's not in his prime anymore. He's not going to be your number one target. But that's added leadership in the locker room. That's a man who knows the system, who knows St. Patrick, who could be, you know, just a decent replacement out there on the field. Not going to get as many touches, but nice to have.
There is a fly I have to put in that ointment, though. Emmanuel burned a lot of bridges going.
He did.
He burnt like all of the. I mean,
but a lot of those
people that he did burn bridges with
aren't there.
Yeah, they're gone. They're no longer there because they have new ownership now. So that doesn't really, I guess, matter as much. But there is still a teammate that was there that remembers what he did in the locker room, and that's
B-Money.
Yep. And that's one of those ex-players. Like, you never hear any of them. Not Akeem, not DT while he was alive. None of that. Not Von Miller. Nobody has ever had anything. Not that they've had bad or good things to say. They've had literally nothing to say about Emmanuel. All the rest of the guys, like I was just watching the training camp live where they had Todd Davis talking to Steve Atwater.
That was pretty good.
Right. So you watched that. So you heard him talk about how he's living right down the street from Brandon and Danny. They all three still live in the same neighborhood here in Denver and with a bunch of other Super Bowl 50 players. But you notice the one name he never mentioned. Even when the man's name was brought up
E-Money
in the conversation, he ignored it, was Emmanuel Sanders. So that tells me that that beyond what we know he did, he must have done some dirty things in that locker room. And if it wasn't for the fact that McManus was not there, then I say maybe he could. But if Brandon's there and he really did some nasty things, I'm not sure how good of a fit he's going to be in that locker room. Like, I do still love the way he runs routes. I love he's still out there making miraculous catches, especially at his size. So he can definitely add value. But again, that fly in the ointment is he was pretty nasty on the way out, and I'm not sure that those bridges have been rebuilt yet.
And, you know, here's one reason why I think he would come back. You know, we talked about that quite a bit when it happened before we did all this.
Yes.
Because that trade happened when we were still in school.
Yeah, we were at CMS when that happened.
Yep. And and you know, I still think there's a shot he could come back. You know, obviously the new the new owner group, you know, a lot of those people are still there. You know, time's gone by. Who knows what's happened behind the scenes between Brandon McManus and all, you know, with everybody. Maybe people got over it, maybe they didn't. But he's still a staple in community help in Denver. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
It took a while. In Denver, you know, he still comes back and does his charity work like he always did when he was here. He's still a part of the community. That's one reason why I think he could come back.
Nice. Yes, I do agree. I think it might have been long enough. It's just my worry is if there is still some type of animosity there, it could fester in the locker room, and it just may not be necessary. Because again, will his production outweigh any possible distractions? That's my problem, and
the one thing is we wouldn't know unless it happened.
Yeah, exactly, and I just don't want to take that chance. It seems like the chemistry on this team is really, really good, and my biggest thing is people are forgetting about On God. Like, it's Russ and KJ they already have a ridiculous chemistry, even though they've barely been on the field together. So
it's just all those days in San Diego together.
Right. Exactly.
That group, watching that group, the new video for this, like the week before training camp when they went down there, just how much of a difference it was from the first time around. Ooh, I'm excited. Exactly. It gets me excited.
So moving on from bad news to hopefully some good news. At least it should be for all of Broncos country. The Broncos, in reaction to losing Demarie Crockett, went off and signed Colorado native Max Borghi to replace him. So what does
Where did Borghi go again?
Huh?
Where did Borghi go again?
I want to say Lehigh.
That's what I want to say too.
Max Borghi.
Lehigh sounds right.
An Arvada native who went to Pomona. He went
Pomona.
To Pomona. Okay. Oh no, Lehigh is because the Rockies just signed. The reason that came in my head, the Rockies just signed a kid from Lehigh Valley.
That's right. That's right.
So
that's right.
That's why Lehigh came in. But yeah, Pomona High School.
Because that sounded so familiar, and I go.
Yeah, it did. That's why I was like, I know it sounds familiar, but ooh, we got some retweets. We appreciate you there on Twitter. I appreciate them retweets of the podcast. We appreciate that. I can't see it over here on StreamYard, but I told y'all I'd be paying attention to Twitter. I told you I am a man of my word. I appreciate that.
You know, the big thing to me about them signing him is I don't see him making the 53-man roster whatsoever. Because I mean, look at the three running backs in front of him.
I understand the three, but the Broncos typically hold four.
Keep one on the squad.
Yeah, and keep one on the squad. So
see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to make the 53-man roster, right? I don't think at the end of the day.
They usually keep four on the 53.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
They usually keep four. Because
there's a shot. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Yes. I would be surprised if he didn't. What my guess here is he'll probably end up on the practice squad. He'll suit up probably quite a bit of the games after that.
I'll tell you why I think he may make the roster, and it's for one stat. 102 catches in his career at Washington State. That is by far the most in the Pac-12 of any running back. So, with the way this offense is structured, there's going to be a lot more of usage of the running back out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. So running backs that can run on the outside, which is something that Borghi was really good at, and this is a stretch zone offense, which means they want to run to the corners, they want to get to the outside, which is his bread and butter, and passing to the running back. He is built for this offense. So the top three are secure. Williams, Gordon, Boone. Those are your top three running backs. That's how it's going to be week one. That fourth running back is wide open now that Demarie Crockett is gone. I do believe Borghi has the talent and ability to snatch that fourth spot.
What was the contract on Demarie?
On Demarie, his contract? It was a minimum a minimum contract, whatever the
training camp.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a 1-year contract. Like, he's going to get paid for the rest of the year. That's one thing is like.
See, that's what I was wondering if because I hadn't seen them cut him yet.
No.
So I was sitting there wondering. I was like, I know he signed a contract, but I don't remember the details of it.
Yeah, he was already put on season-ending IR, so he is going to get. That's the one silver lining for him, like we talked about with Timmy P. Him getting that bag last year kind of softens the blow. Same thing with Demarie. Like Demarie, there was no lock that he was going to make the roster.
No.
But this guarantees he's going to get the maximum money for his contract. Because, like, with most practice.
What's the rookie minimum around?
The rookie minimum last year was $750. So this year it'd be somewhere around $770, $775, because it goes up incrementally each year. So, somewhere around $800,000. He's going to.
Yeah. What was the rookie minimum that Philip Lindsay signed? It was like over $300K, something like that.
Yeah, the undrafted free agent contract. Yeah. That he signed. It was stupid. Yeah, that man, don't get me started on Philip Lindsay. I feel sorry for that man. Honestly, I would have loved to see. Honestly, Max Borghi is essentially a slower version of Philip Lindsay. He ran a 4.3, he runs a 4.5.
They were showing highlights of Borghi the other day. I knew who he was. I just never seen his tape from college whatsoever.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And then after watching, I was like, okay, I see why.
Yes,
they picked him up.
And honestly, I think the only reason he went undrafted is because he's a white running back. And he ran a 4.5. If he would have done what Christian McCaffrey did and ran a 4.3, he's probably a first-round running back.
And if they
at the very least a second rounder.
Also, the white running back's a dying breed, like the white cornerback. Well, the white cornerback's been extinct since 2002.
Right, but as we've seen, people will still take white skill position players, a Scotty Miller, a Christian McCaffrey high, if they run a good 40.
Yeah.
But if you run like a 4.53, like what Max Borghi ran, they don't care. They don't care how productive you were. If that 40 time doesn't match up with your production, then they don't believe the tape. I don't understand how that works. It's one of the things that infuriates me about scouts and about talent evaluators. It's like they'll see on tape that this kid is fast enough, quick enough, shifty enough, and then they'll go and look at the numbers when they're in underwear, and all of a sudden their whole perspective changes.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Why are you worried about what they can do in underwear? I want to know what they do with full pads, because when you're out there on the field, you're not in your underwear. You're in full pads.
And I hate looking like the combine. I just kind of stopped watching it a couple of years ago.
I mean, it has its purpose.
I mean, it does have its purpose, but then there's just some things where you're like,
they've just overblown it.
Yeah. It's like, what was the interview this year? That kid, that North Carolina quarterback, where did he end up getting taken at?
Sam Howell?
Yeah. Where did he end up getting picked?
He ended up getting picked in the 3rd round.
Where'd he go? I totally forgot where he went.
Oh, I completely forgot where he went to. Sam Howell.
Was he the... Would he have been the... No, the Eagles didn't take him. Washington, that's right. Oh, God, yeah, have fun.
His backup.
Yeah, and watching... Yeah, that is like one of the reasons why is you remember what the Eagles did for him for his combine interview?
No, I don't. What happened?
They took him into their meeting room. They had like one of those little door basketball baskets hanging up, and they made him shoot 10. And he made 1 out of 10. And then they didn't call him again.
Oh wait, that's right. That's why they did that little competition on ESPN where old girl busted her butt against the Eagles head coach. Yeah,
dude, it was so stupid, and he just said, "I don't think I'm going to get my name get a call from them that night."
Right? Yeah. No, that's
what a stupid draft.
He was supposed to be the number 1 quarterback off the
I can't believe he didn't go off the board. And honestly, the Commanders got a steal. I want to be surprised if we see him playing midway through the season. Whether it's Carson being hurt.
Right. I think it's going to take Carson being hurt because I think Carson's going to surprise. I think Washington is going to surprise him.
Oh, Ron Rivera knows what he's doing with Carson Wentz.
Everybody wants to point to Dan Snyder. It's like, dude, stop looking that far up.
He gave Ron Rivera freedom.
Yes. Pay attention to the sideline.
Which is rare.
Running the team, yes.
You remember when he gave Marty Schottenheimer freedom? And that lasted a matter of 4 months?
Right. And then Mike Shanahan got it for like 3 months.
Yeah.
When he went there. And that's what made Shanahan want to leave.
And that's what made Robert Griffin III's career die forever.
Yeah. And to think of the fact that John Gruden's brother was the offensive coordinator.
And he was their head coach for a while.
Yep, right afterward. He was the head coach after Shanahan because he was the one willing to kiss Snyder's booty.
The Ron Rivera getting absolute freedom is just nice to watch.
I know y'all see me like spazzing, but there's a fly in my house and it's driving me nuts.
Dude, I had a fat horsefly in here the other day and I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
It's driving me nuts. It keeps landing on my leg and it itches. It's weird.
You know what it landed on my monitor. And I had to try so hard not to smack my monitor.
Right. I believe it. I believe it. Bam! I almost did that earlier.
This is a $500 monitor. I can't do that.
Right. Yeah. No, I almost did that to my MacBook earlier when on this episode. It was like when I was going, because the stupid fly was like getting in the way of my stats. I was like, I swore like every time I wanted to read a stat, the freaking fly would just fly right over.
You know what the best thing ever was when we used to have box TVs? I could smack the hell out of that thing when a fly was on it and it would survive.
Right. And it wouldn't even flinch. You do that now and the whole screen's gone.
Just has that heavy glass on it. That's why that thing was like 800 pounds.
Bro, yes. Oh my God. I still remember, you remember the real old ones that had the speakers and everything in them? They weighed like 1,000 pounds. Me and my buddies blew up one with CO2 bombs out in Sterling. Bro, we didn't think about the physics of putting the bomb inside and re-enclosing the
man.
PD. So like we literally found pieces.
God dang it!
For miles in every direction. It was insane. Like there was nothing left of it, and it was just one of those little tiny CO2 cartridges that you get for like a little paint gun.
For an airsoft gun, yeah.
For like an airsoft gun.
Paintball gun.
That big. It was like maybe this long.
The 6-pack of punch, bro. The 6-pack of punch.
It was insane. Like I mean, we built the CO2 bomb with. I mean, it had black powder and stuff. Like it wasn't just like a.
Yeah.
We did some redneck ingenuity. It was. Insane.
We did something similar, but with a beer bottle and an M80.
Oh Jesus! Yeah. That's,
it was 4th of July one year, and it was like the start of the night, so it was still day. And one of my buddies brought over an M80, and we put it in a beer bottle and had the smart decision to put it in the middle of the street.
I got some M150s.
Oh, those aren't bad.
Those are fun.
Those are the safer ones.
A little bit.
M80 is literally just a little stick of dynamite.
Yeah, I know. Well, the M150s are bigger and more powerful.
No, I thought you meant the smaller ones. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
Bigger. I was like, I was gonna call you a word. Started with P.
and ends with itch.
Oh, I was gonna say C.
Somebody can't spell.
Starts with P.
Oh, okay. Getting back to Max Borghi and them, like we said, we do believe he has the talent to make the 53, but it is an uphill battle. So we are going to keep our fingers crossed for the local kid, and hopefully he can do more than even Philip Lindsay was able to accomplish in his 2 Pro Bowls in 2 years and a 1,000-yard season. Maybe he can be that next great undrafted free agent out of Denver, but we'll have to wait and see. And like we said, we got football tonight and coming up, so we'll see very, very, very soon. So speaking of people brought into the Dove Valley, the Broncos have brought in 2 former Pro Bowl middle linebackers in the last week. Does this mean that they don't like their depth chart as much as they appeared to, or are they just kicking tires to see what might be available?
Say that again. My audio cut. Sorry.
Sorry. Does the fact that the Broncos brought in 2 Pro Bowl middle linebackers, Anthony Barr and Joe Schobert, in the last week, mean that they don't believe in this depth chart, or are they just kicking tires?
It's training camp. Every team brings in a bunch of different people during training camp. Some end up surprising them and end up staying, end up making the roster, getting a contract. Some don't. And that's most of the time, that's what it is. And that's what I think it is in this case. George Payton and Nathaniel Hackett are just looking at options, bringing them in, see what they can do in the preseason. And then if they don't think they're fit out for it, they'll be out on the cut days. If not, we'll see them out on the field. And if they're out on the field, there's a reason why.
Yeah, my thing is the reason I believe they are kicking tires and just seeing what might be available in case things happen, like things just happened with Timmy P.
Yeah, what happens if like a Baron Browning went down?
Well, Baron's on the outside.
Oh yeah, that's right. They moved him on the outside.
Maybe more like Jonas or Josie.
Yeah.
Down, that would cause them to sign somebody.
I keep forgetting he's an edge rusher now.
I mean, again, these are 2 ex-Pro Bowlers, so they're obviously talented individuals. Yep. But the reason I say that they're kicking tires only is because they've let both these guys walk out without a contract. And Anthony Barr just signed with somebody. I forget who he signed with off the top of my head, but he just signed I think it was with Dallas, if I remember. Yeah,
it was in the NFC. I know that much.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Dallas Cowboys that signed him, which they have a dearth, an absolute plethora of inside linebackers.
Hey, speaking of the Cowboys, next week, the Cowboys are coming to town.
Yes, sir. Cowboys are coming to town, so we'll get to see what Anthony Barr could have brought to Denver if they signed him. But Joe,
I totally read that wrong, dude. I thought it was going to be in Dallas or in Arlington.
Nope.
And our hotel's right across the street from their facility and stadium that their training camp's at.
Coming here.
So, yeah, and then I was like, okay, that's probably better. But I was like, oh, that would have been cool while we're there just to go see it.
It always seems like with the Broncos, like I can't remember the last time the Broncos went to somebody's camp.
Minnesota last year.
Did they go to Minnesota?
Last year.
Oh, they did go to Minnesota. That is the only other place that they've went.
Yeah, yep. Like they've only been to Dallas and Minnesota.
Dallas, yeah, at 2 new practice facility.
And then the Niners always came up here.
Yeah, Niners always came up here because their stuff was old at that point. Now we might go that way. But
have you seen pictures of their upgrades?
Oh, buddy, that whole that stadium, man. All the new stadiums, the one in Las Vegas, Santa Clara, you name it, man.
Dude, I mean, Levi Stadium was let's be honest, it was kind of a POS when they put it up.
It kind of was.
And especially for the Super Bowl. Oh, my God. You remember that grass just...
God, that was so bad.
But now it seems like they've got things figured out. You know, they've added a bunch of new things. Obviously, new grass, thank God. If they ever win another Super Bowl again.
But getting back to the linebackers, as I said, Anthony Barr's already signed somewhere. So he's off the table. That's no point in discussing him. But Joe Schobert still is. Kid's only 28 years old. Just went to a Pro Bowl a couple of years ago in Cleveland. He's kind of bounced around the last couple of years. Yeah, he signed a one-year deal with Jacksonville last year, then got traded to Pittsburgh halfway through the season, then got released by Pittsburgh in March of this offseason. So I really liked Schobert when he was coming out of Cleveland a couple of years ago. I was really hoping to see him end up in Denver. So that's one signing I would like to see. I love his coverage ability. He's one of the better covers linebackers.
And
has issues in run stopping, but we already have a Josie Jewell and that to cover that. What we need is a athletic linebacker next to Josie that can handle the pass coverage. That's why Jonas is working the way he is. Next to Josie he is the athletic linebacker that does the coverage. So
we got a lot of J's on our team, bro.
I know, right? I'm trying to keep them straight.
Even I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait.
So many J's.
I was like, geez, we literally got the killer J's on the front line.
Right. No joke. I mean, Jones, freaking, Jonas.
Jewel.
Jewel, Judy, Jerry Judy, the JJ. Like
KJ.
How many J's can there be? My goodness.
And then there's Cortland Sutton.
Right. And then we just or KJ. And then even KJ.
Yeah, we got KJ, baby.
Come on. How many J's can there be on a team? But I guess. And then we can just add, well, I say what? We always have room for another J. I will take Joe Schobert.
We'll go get Julius Peppers.
Right? All the J's. As long as there's a J, we'll take it. It doesn't matter.
How do you imagine prime Julius Peppers on this team, bro?
Goodness, bro. That would be nasty.
Jason Pierre-Paul right now without the fingers would be good on this team.
Right, bro. A pass rush like that mixed with the back end that the Broncos have right now, ain't nobody scoring nothing on that defense.
Oh my gosh!
So,
did you see
standouts though?
Yeah.
We got camp standouts. One weekend, these are guys that I got from the insider I spoke with this morning. He said,
"Is this our boy?"
This is our boy. Yes,
right.
You know who he is.
Yeah.
But yes, these are the boys that he said have been standing out and have been talked about by guys that are out there in the Twitter sphere and all that, here in the local radios and all that. But the standouts that he came up with were rookie Montrell Washington, our guy Deshaun Williams.
Deshaun.
Yes, Caden Stearns. And
good. That's a name I'm glad to hear on that list. Is Caden Stearns.
Two big names on
Who was the last one you said?
Jonas Griffith. Actually, all four of these are guys me and you just talked about over the last few weeks that we have been talking about. And I didn't tell this man when I was talking to him that these are people we have been talking about. I just thought it was absolutely awesome that the guys we've been talking about are the ones standing.
It just shows you we're better.
We're just awesome, dude. How much more do we have?
Zach Stevens at DNVR thinks he's better than me. No, I'm joking. He's totally better than me. I love Zach.
Zach is good. I like Zach. Zach, RK, the DNVR crew, man, I ain't got no problems with them.
I love listening to their show. I've been watching their videos all week of them at camp. They've been pretty good. They were tossing the ball with Vic the other day. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Some good stuff. Yeah, DNVR's usually got some really good stuff. Zach, like I said, Zach Stevens, Ryan Koningsberg,
Ryan Green.
Yes, Ryan Green. That was the other one I was trying to think of. Ryan Green. Those three guys. They bring it. Now their avalanche coverage could use it, but we're going to go that far. But they're
football. They're football.
They're football. football coverage, top notch football coverage. But so yes, so what? How does that make you feel to know that those are the 4 guys standing out right now?
Really good. Caden Stearns is definitely the numero uno. I loved hearing on there because I think I know both of us loved watching him last year.
Yes.
Especially in that Chargers game. He had a hell of a game, the one in Denver.
Yes.
I mean, every time he's on the field, played good all around.
He shows out. He balls out.
And it's just a nice pairing to have out there with Justin Simmons and then, Kareem, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. With Kareem on the 1 year, we know he's towards the end of his career. I wouldn't be surprised if this is his last.
I mean, I think he's still got some more in the tank. He might be able to go another year or so, but yeah.
I don't think it's going to be here.
Yeah,
sadly.
Exactly. I still be here because I think Caden's going to show enough that they'll let him walk.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a good year because, we still got K-Jack. K-Jack's going to be great. He's going to ball out. He's going to go hard.
Take some
always 100%. He's going to murder people like usual. And then he's not going to be taking as many of the snaps as he would be in his prime, let's say like 2 to 3 years ago.
Right.
And that's where Caden's going to come in. And Caden, I think he hits just as, if not harder than Kareem does. And Kareem's a dirty man out there when it comes to hitting people.
Well, I don't want to say dirty. He's a vicious man.
Well, I mean, it was dirty. That was dirty.
I don't want people taking you. You know how people can cut.
I didn't say it right.
Yeah, no, I got you. That's why I got you back, brother. I got you. I knew what you meant.
What was that hit last year that he put on Tyreek at the end of a play?
Oh, good.
Where they had him piled up and he just came flying in.
Oh, I mean, so many. I mean,
just off screen.
The hit on Tyreek, the hit on Kelsey. How about the
hit on Kelsey was nasty.
He knocked the soul out of Kelsey, bro.
Yo, you remember when he knocked the soul
out of Keenan
Allen?
Size.
He knocked the soul out of Keenan Allen. It was like the one play Patrick wasn't on the field. He got by and he just laid Keenan Allen out on his ass on the sideline.
Just blacka. Yes, that's the number one thing that KJ brings. And I think that Caden is that perfect meld between Justin and K-Jax. He's got the speed and the range. He's got the hands. But he's got that nasty streak that K-Jax has.
I think he's also got the hands of Jay Sims.
Yes. Exactly. He's got really good hands and really good return ability. I think it's something that's really.
Who's our return guy? Is it going to be Montrell?
Yes, Montrell Washington. He's got that boy is special. Montrell Washington is fast. I don't care what his 40 time was, and I know it was fast. He's faster. He's just in pads. He's one of those guys that when they get in pads, they just seem faster.
That's what it is with Tyreek. I feel like Tyreek doesn't run as hard without pads.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think it's just because he's slower without pads. Once you get those pads on, you go, I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it flips a switch and they're not afraid anymore. And
it's
right.
I don't want to get hit. Yeah.
Right. I don't know what it is. But yeah, Montrell Washington is going to be special. We are going to enjoy special teams in a way we have not since Trendon Holiday left town.
Oh, Trendon Holiday.
Yes.
Never forget 2 touchdowns in a game and we lost.
Yes, and the only man to return a punt and a kick in the playoffs in the same game.
That's right. Oh my God. Hey! You can't not put respect on my boy. Why did I just forget his name? Who was our returner for the Super Bowl season? It was 11-2. It was before Deontay.
Wasn't it Omar?
No.
Omar Bolden?
No, it wasn't Bolden. It was
I'm pulling up the 15 roster.
Jordan Norwood.
Oh yeah, the guy, the slowest return man in the league that holds the record for the longest punt return in Super Bowl history.
I did never dislike Jordan Norwood out on the field.
He was
just because you knew, I knew he wasn't going to run a touchdown back every kick. He's no Devin Hester.
What is it with Penn State and them being returners on the Broncos?
Penn State.
I just realized that's where Jordan Norwood
I
went to
know.
school.
There's just something about Penn State and just producing just speed monsters.
Yes, I swear, man, it's insane. I don't know. I don't get it.
But I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. Frickin' O lineman blew a block and got him knocked out of bounds.
Yes, it's crazy.
Could you imagine if that offense never scored a touchdown in that Super Bowl?
Wouldn't that be the most insane?
It would have been the only Super Bowl where an offense didn't score a touchdown and they won.
Right. Yeah. I mean, would that not make it maybe the worst Super Bowl instead of the Rams Patriots if the Broncos never score? Does that make it the worst?
No, no, because of an outstanding defense. Both games, the Super Bowl 53 was just poor play on both sides of the ball, on both teams. Dude, Super Bowl 53 is just erased from my memory. I actually had to think who played in that game when you said that to me. You know what's sad? The most memorable thing from that game was for me? That absolute monster of a punt from the end zone that went from end zone to end zone.
Oh, that like 70-yard.
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's the highlight for me. That's what that's why I had to think. I was like, who played in that Super Bowl? I go, I know the Rams played in it because of the punt. I was like, oh yeah, Brady's last Super Bowl as a Patriot.
And that whole
season can just be forgotten in general. That was not a fun season.
That was not at all. That whole season was insanity. But speaking of storylines, let's go ahead and check in on the storylines we had talked about the last time we spoke with y'all a couple of weeks ago. We had asked, will Williams be the number one back? Well, according to our insider, Williams has worked only with the ones. No work with the number twos.
God.
Yes. If that's the case, that he has not worked a single snap with the twos.
Bring my boy back. Wait, okay, speaking of the Grim Reaper, were you the one that trademarked that, or did you hear that somewhere? I'm pretty sure you were the one who first said Grim Reaper. I created
that, yes.
I saw some bozo at the training camp wearing a Grim Reaper suit.
What?
Yep.
What?
Dead ass. Had 33 on the scythe.
Yes, I trademarked that. Okay, this guy right here, I created that nickname. Y'all better remember that. I got video evidence, all right? So don't try me. I'm watching you.
Hey, maybe he's listening right now. What's up, bro? How you doing? What's cracking? Bro? How you living?
How you doing? I dare you to try and take my shiz. I will sue you. I know how to do it.
Hey, you should wear that when we go to the Chiefs game.
We should. That would be epic. Oh, that would be epic.
We definitely still need to do that.
Yes, we do.
Because I'll be doing radio by then again. I'll have more money again. I can get a ticket.
Yeah, I got some money coming up here shortly. We'll definitely have to get on that. So, right tackle is still terrifying. We'd asked, will Calvin...
I'm telling you, my boy's coming through.
Right.
I saw him out there on first team the other day.
I know, right? Gutierrez made it out there to the first teams. That's what I was going to bring up.
And he looked good.
Right tackle is still terrifying as hell to me. We really wanted Calvin Anderson to take that job and run with it, but he has not at all this offseason. So let's hope that Dylan's hot take of the season comes true.
Hey, it's a good sign if my man's working ones.
But yes,
he looked good on the edge against Bradley.
Yes, he has worked with the ones. He has looked good. I did verify with the insider that Gutierrez is turning heads, and he has caught the attention of the coaching staff. So your hot take just might come out there, buddy.
Hey, they work out. Never forget my World Series one.
Right. Never forget the World Series. Of course not.
This is pre this company like being created.
Yeah. This is way back with CMS.
This is Blitz. This is stuff that'll never see the light of day.
Right. It's probably already been deleted off the server. So
I think I have like 3 episodes somewhere on my computer, and I don't even think that one's on there.
Right. I don't know. I don't think I have it.
I think the one I have, I'll have to look. I might still have it on a flash drive somewhere. Was the one night where we talked about when was it? It was when Peyton got hired.
Yes.
I think that one's still on there, and that was just you and me.
Yep. Was that the one that I was working the board?
I think it had to have been.
That was horrible.
I have that one, and then the one where we just got like the 4 guys
that should not see the light of day.
Yeah, I think I have. I think the only other one I might have.
Kill it with fire.
The one night when all the press box guys were just hanging out afterwards, like, you guys want to do it with us? It was like, sure. It was like you, me, Theo, Zach, Matt and a couple other guys.
Right.
It was just a shit show, but it was so good.
Hell yeah.
That was like a 2-hour show of what should have been an hour.
Yeah, we went way over, but it was so much fun. We just couldn't stop.
I remember Josh saying, "You're lucky there's nobody going after you."
Right. And we had also asked that who would be Russ's early favorite? Well, as it turns out, the number one wide receiver on the team is the number one wide receiver on the team. And Cortland Sutton has been.
Baby.
Yep. Court has gained an early chemistry with Russ. And there has been talk that when KJ has been on the field, him and Russ's connection has looked otherworldly.
Have you seen his knee?
I don't
Dude,
want
he put on some weight.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It
looked
does.
like they showed his knee the other day. It looks good.
Yeah, and he's still in the 21 to 23 mile per hour range. Stupid. The man can speed in
Hey, I'll take it.
zone.
I will take it.
Right. Man can speed in a school zone on his feet. That's stupid.
There's some people that you see that I kind of hope OBJ just doesn't lose a step after this injury.
Right. Me too. I hope so as well. But
Because as much as like the drama that guy's been in, I love that guy. He's such a great player.
I love the way he plays, and I mean, I love his attitude. I love his like.
It was just some of the stupid drama he got into.
Right. I like a lot of people like to try and lump him into AB. That's in the
he's
same.
Not barricading himself in the house on an IG live.
He's not throwing gummy penises at his baby mama in front of his kids. Like none of that's happening. Like they're not the same
that's a
guy.
real story.
Just because they're both black and they like to dye their hair does not make them the same guy.
I still can't believe that's a real story.
I know, right? Oh my Jesus.
That's something I would say on Chappelle's show.
Right. But we'd also asked, will this pass rush reach its potential? Well, according to our insider, Browning and Benito have flashed majorly.
Good.
There's comps to Von Miller being made for both of these guys for their ridiculous get off, speed, and bend off of the edge.
I can't wait to watch Nick Benito. That man's tape from college is insane.
First step is unbelievable.
And the fact that he's turning heads like he should be, the Broncos got him in the second, not even early, late second round. Or mid.
The literal last pick of the second round.
Like literally,
overall.
They almost traded up to get him.
They almost did, but they just had to sit pat. Sit pat, and they got their guy. And like I said, that get off is insane. The way he gets off the line of scrimmage when that ball is snapped, you would swear he knows the snap count.
Right. It's like watching Vaughn.
Just like Vaughn. That's what I'm saying. Like
Vaughn. There's the America's game for Super Bowl 50. He talks about the first strip sack for the touchdown. He was just saying, if he doesn't snap the ball, he's like, I'm going on one.
Yep.
I'm going on one. And that's just what a lot of those guys do, because a lot of people don't pay attention to the play clock. That thing goes down to the limit a lot of times.
Oh, it does. And I mean, and
that helps pass rush.
Best they can. Yeah, the referees do the best that they can with catching, delay of games. But I mean, sometimes it's hard, and
depending where you're at on the field.
The clock on your TV is not official. That's another thing that people need to realize is the clock on your TV is not the official clock.
That's why I look at the clock on the field when you get to see it. Yep.
The game clock. Yes. Exactly.
No, but Nick Benito is going to be a star if Randy Gregory is going to be a little iffy. From what it sounds like, he should be here soon.
They're talking about after training camp getting him on the field. They're going to take it very, very slow. And KJ, they're going to play smart.
Okay. Because
they're not going to rush them either. Yeah, especially now with Timmy P going down, you definitely can't rush.
I think that's definitely why, because the day Timmy P went down, KJ was out on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, well, his first practice was the day before Timmy went down.
And he was out there a lot. And he was out there the day.
Speaking of KJ, like the cool thing is he left practice in the middle of practice and went to the locker room to talk to Timmy and let him know that he was there for him. And I mean, this is like 24 hours after the interview where he was talking about how dark of a place that KJ went into when he was injured.
Because that's a lot of players.
Something that came out here lately is that something not enough people have talked about is that he didn't just tear his ACL. The man dislocated his hip too.
Yeah.
He had the same injury Tua had, the same injury Bo Jackson had. Think about that. He came back from a torn ACL and a dislocated hip in the same leg, and he's already back out there on that track.
And it's great. Modern medicine, advanced medicine, amazing. Also, he also helped himself, other than Bo Jackson, and like Bo Jackson playing on it like an idiot. But that's just me. That's just me. I still pick the Raiders every time in Tecmo Bowl. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right, exactly. All day, every day. I don't care what it is.
He's broken. You can't tackle him. I swear to God.
You can't.
He scores every time.
Absolutely. Oh, bro. Yeah, we've been doing that since the early '90s. I was the OG sitting there with the NES.
Dude, the Tecmo Bowl arcade machine.
Yes.
I'll never forget seeing that playing that first time. I had to be in like 8 or 9. I played that. My dad picked the Raiders.
Oh, that's just mean.
I was stuck with the Browns.
He said I was stuck with the Browns.
Why did you do? They were the other best team.
Oh.
Somehow. It was the 90s, okay?
It was the 90s. It was the 90s.
It was the 90s. They weren't bad yet.
Yeah,
it was the year before they didn't have a team.
90s. I should
the year before they didn't have a team.
90s. Yeah. Once you get towards the latter part, that's where you get to the Achilles Smith and all that.
Once you get to the 2000s, that's when you get to losing.
Yeah. Well,
hey,
really,
they were still winning back in the day, but they were losing in playoffs. So.
Yeah, they just lost when it mattered.
Yeah, driving the phone. Now they're not losing when it matters. So.
Yes.
Better
now they just don't even get to where it matters. They just lose all the time.
Jeez, dude, what a crazy series of events. Now that man's probably going to be out for a year.
Yes, I know.
6 games, dude. I was looking at him like, damn, dude, Calvin Ridley's got to be mad right now.
Oh, I know, right?
This man sexually assaulted, allegedly sexually assaulted over 20 women.
Yeah, almost 30.
And he got 6 games. This man used DraftKings once
and bet like $1,500.
Got a whole year.
It wasn't even that much. And he didn't even bet on his own team.
It's not like he put down his whole game check on a game.
Right, and he didn't even bet on his own team. He made a parlay.
He
made
one
parlay. One parlay for $1,500 and lost all.
That's the best part about it. It wasn't even the Falcons that he bet on.
Right. And
that just shows you how much confidence he had in that team.
Right, and he didn't even win. Like, he lost all $1,500, and he still lost a year of playing.
That's where 6 games is worthy.
The most insane thing I've ever.
You know what? 10 games. I'd give that man 10 games.
I mean, maybe
even
half
6.
Maybe half a season.
Yeah.
Like 6 to 8 games. That's enough. That's
dude,
a half a year of paychecks
up,
you lost.
dude. He got 6 games.
Right. That's a half a year of paychecks for a first-round contract.
It's not like this man was cheating.
That's a couple mil.
Right? When I look, I'm like, was he cheating? No.
Did he bet on his own team? No.
What's the problem?
Did he shave points?
No.
So what the hell is going on here, guys?
It wasn't even on the Falcons game, too, was it? Was it on the Falcons game, or was it a completely different game? I can't remember.
It was just a parlay.
Yeah, see.
It was just a parlay. I
can't players do that. You know, the NFL had to have known this was coming when all these betting sites came out.
Right. Oh, this fly is going to freaking
I can see it.
Right? Okay, so y'all know I'm not tripping. Now it's hitting me in the face.
I could see it just flying.
Just kamikaze and right into my forehead.
Dude, I literally hate that. I'm like, you have a whole house, a whole room.
Right.
And you're in me.
Right. God, that sounded wrong.
That's how we always say it, dude.
That's great.
Every time I see a fly, get out of me.
Get out of me. Oh, my God. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, bro, how does Calvin... Like, Calvin really must have put a hole in his wall after the Sean news.
I'd have lost my
He's probably patching it up right now after the news that came out yesterday.
The dude already missed a year with mental health issues. That's why he was out.
Right.
And now you take the one thing away from him that made him happy. Like, that whole punishment makes
He's not even allowed at the facility, is he?
No, nowhere. Once you're suspended, you're not allowed to do anything team-related.
He just needs to pull Sean Payton and go coach his son's middle school football team. And then have a movie about Kevin James. Yeah, I know.
He is way too young. If he had a son in middle school, that means he had a kid at like 2.
He's got to do that, and then have a movie where Kevin James plays him.
Right, there you go. That would
Dude,
be
that
great.
movie, did you end up watching that?
I did. It's actually it's okay.
I was going to say, it was not bad.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't.
I didn't go into it with high expectations. That helped.
Me either. Yeah, I don't know why people all thought like it would be such a great
Every
movie,
time I
but-
go into a movie, I go in with zero expectations, and it helps.
You just never know. Yeah,
The
it
only
really
one I
helps.
didn't go into with low expectations was Batman, and it paid off.
Right, exactly. But speaking
Or I can't say the same.
Right. Speaking of competitions,
Competitions.
we got one last storyline to talk about. Tight end competition
Oh,
is
yeah.
still murky. It looks like actually Eric Saubert, guy I have been touting for over a year now, is actually getting work with the ones now,
Doubters.
right?
No, he was pretty. When he was on the field last year, the very little amount he spent on the field last year was productive.
Yes, very productive. Like I can tell
He got
you,
a couple
I can think of
touchdowns, I'm
3
pretty sure.
plays right now. I think he had 1 touchdown, and then like there was other ones where it was just like he was the one tight end that you could throw it 3 yards short, and he was going to make a tackle or going to break a tackle and get that first down. He is the only guy I can remember from last year that it's not Javonte Williams or on occasion Melvin Gordon that would take a ball short of the sticks, make a guy miss, and get the first down. Like he is the only one outside of, like I said, Williams and sometimes Gordon that I could ever remember doing that. So the fact that he's getting work with the ones isn't that much of a surprise to me, but it really seems to be messing with a lot in Broncos country.
And if I'm not wrong, he was a big help at the fullback position last year on a lot of those goal line like run plays.
He was the backup fullback when Beck wasn't around. And that's another thing is people aren't talking about Andrew Beck, but he's also getting time with the ones.
And
he is playing fullback.
An amazing blocker. I love seeing him at fullback. I still think that having a number in the 80s is weird for a fullback, and it's just me.
Well, I mean, because he can actually catch the ball. Like
we need to give him 29. He needs to be Howard Griffin.
That's the thing I love about Beck is his versatility. Is that he reminds me, and I know people aren't going to like this comp, but he reminds me a lot of Aaron Hernandez, just a little bit less athletic. But
and murdering people in the streets. I got you, brother. No.
I mean, he is quiet.
But he's murdering on the field. He's murdering on the field.
That's the comparison. About the quiet ones. Yes.
He's murdering homies on the field with a block. Right. That's the comparison.
Yes. But yes, like the way he blocks, like he could be probably the most all-around tight end on the roster when it comes to being able to catch and block. And that's why he plays the fullback position. And he's a pretty good size. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4".
He's an average tight end and fullback size.
Yeah, he's a big tight end, but like a little bit small a big fullback, smaller tight end. Like he's like most fullbacks, they're usually somewhere in the 5'10" to 6 foot range, and usually in the 210 to 220 range.
Watching him
Beck
fun.
is again 6'3", 6'4", and weighs 250. He's a really big fullback, but small tight end. That's why he plays that tweener position. He's kind of big and fast for a fullback, but he's kind of small and slowish for a tight end.
And looking at the tight end position overall, it's been kind of quiet. It's been quiet on Alberto and Dolcic, which isn't bad.
Yeah, well, Dolcic, there's nothing on him because he's been hurt all training camp. He's had a hamstring issue, so he hasn't practiced at all.
I was gonna say it's not a bad thing, right? Yeah. You know, with Okuwebunam, with Alberto, you know that means he's doing his job. That means it's nothing that you need to praise him for because he's doing what he's told. Yeah. And that's what I hate when a lot of people go, "Why is he getting praised for that?" Because he's doing what he's told.
Right. So my thing is, this tight end competition is still wide open. It's one that needs to be watched.
I see Alberto starting week 1.
I definitely could, but that's the thing is I'm starting to lean towards Saubert.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It would because
the way Alberto's worked
after the catch, that yak and the ability to block, I think are really in Saubert's favor. If Albert O can learn to block like Saubert, Albert O is going to be the starter. But if Saubert continues to block the way he does and catch the ball, and then the yak is huge, especially out of the tight end position. Only the greatest tight ends get yak. The George Kittles, the Travis Kelce's, the Darren Wallers. Those are the guys that get yards after the catch.
Man, have you seen anything at Raiders camp? Darren Waller is just
Oh, he's just murdering everything.
Oh my god, dude! I was watching some clips the other day.
I take anything out of Oakland when it comes to the offense owning
Vegas.
Or Vegas. Did I say Oakland?
I say it too. I didn't,
dude, it's so natural. I didn't even.
I still call the Chargers San Diego every once in a while.
Right. It didn't even register that I said Oakland. I thought I said Las Vegas.
It's going to be hard for me on radio this year for something similar like that. The Yuma changed their name.
Oh Lord, what is it now?
The Yuma School District, because they couldn't choose a mascot because they were fighting over one.
Oh God, what was the old one?
Indians.
Oh,
so Chassa finally killed the switch on them.
That's right.
They were going to be the tribe, and then they're like, no, nothing to do with Native Americans.
Native Americans, yeah.
The only school that gets to keep theirs is, I think, Cherokee, because they have permission.
Yeah, they got. It's just like with the Seminoles.
Yep.
And the way they got permission and all that. Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm cool with that. But yeah,
if you got permission, go for it.
Yeah, if you got permission, and it's real permission, it's not the BS that Dan Snyder did, where he went and built a bunch of playgrounds and then got people to say nice things about him after he built the playground at a reservation.
And then putting Sean Taylor's family in front of the porta potties for autographs.
That is, God, that man. How is he that much?
And somehow let Jackson Mahomes dance on the memorial.
Yes. I mean, how is he that bad of a human? Like, how are you that successful as a businessman, but that...
You know what the NFL should allow just one time? Just to let the fans of Washington just publicly execute. not like that. Not like that. Not like that, like, get him out. Like, get him out of there. Like,
the mob mentality. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the mob mentality.
I don't think we want to, we don't want to be calling for the execution of anyone, let alone billionaires, because they have the money to pay somebody to execute us.
Oh, dude, you won't hear from me Thursday.
We're calling for executions of billionaires.
Hey, I'm just letting you know I won't be here Thursday. Something's just came up. I think they got somebody outside my house right now. They're coming for me.
They're coming for you right now.
I literally thought execution because I literally watched Sherlock Holmes last night for the first time after like 8 years when they hang Blackwood.
Yeah, so if you don't see Dylan next week, you know that he pissed off the wrong billionaire. No, just kidding. No, seriously, he won't be here next week. I just trying to use that.
Dude, you should have ran with it. That would have been hilarious.
I should have, but I was like, man, I can't do that. I can't have people thinking that you're actually murdered.
And then you tweet about it, and then I'll just reply with a question mark.
About it, but I was like, nah, I can't.
No, you should have ran with it and just said RIP on Twitter, and I'll just reply with a question mark.
Right, that would have been great, but I couldn't.
Dude, I still have a tweet like that.
About it, but I couldn't.
Josh put something about Kentucky players. Josh put something about Kentucky players about how bad they were, and I hit it with a question mark, and you said, "This is the truth."
It's the truth.
That's for you, man.
That's great.
He always talk trash because he knows Willie Coley's son. And he was like, "They're bad." I go, "Screw you."
Screw you, Buddy.
You're an Indiana fan, dude.
Definitely blown past the train station here. We are way off the rails.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
But no, we are great. This is a great episode, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we did. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed the new intro. That is going to be our intro for all of our shows going forward. And you know, look at the production value. We even got a little ticker. Tells you what's going on. So
Breakin Broncos episode .41 / make sure to like and subscribe / ! Nug Life with Dan and Amato. There you go.
Saturday 5 to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
I ran out of breath.
So we are upping production value, people. I told you, as long as you keep giving us love, we will continue to return the love.
Now you just got to get me on the back of that horse with you. I could just have me hanging on to the hoof.
Bro, I got you. I actually got. We'll talk about this after we get done with here. But yes. So, as always, I am your host Dan Wetstein. This is the Breakin Broncos podcast. On The Answer Is 42. As always, don't question the blue.